Hello everyone, good evening, how are you all? So yes, we are here again and we are going to discuss the previous year questions from the SSC CGL part. Okay, so without any delay, let's start with the first question of the day. What's the first question? The first question is, convection occurs in which of the following? Now, this means we are talking about what? We are talking about heat transfer. If I talk about the transfer of heat, if I talk about the transfer of heat, then transfer of heat actually takes place in three modes. Which are they? If I talk about these modes, just a second. If I talk about the transfer of heat modes, they actually take place in three different modes and they are what? Just a second. Yeah. So they are, first one is conduction. First one is conduction. Second one is convection. And third one is radiation. Right? Now, the question is regarding convection occurs in which of the following? Now, they are asking either is it only solid and liquid, is it liquid and gases, is it gases and solids, or is it solid, liquid and gases all? So, what would be the correct answer over here? Just have a look. When we talk about the modes, so here we have conduction, in which what happens? Molecules actually vibrate at their location. What is there? Only there is the vibration in the molecules. But if I talk about convection, there is even transfer of molecules. That means molecules are actually changing their position. But if I talk about radiation, there is no such medium required. If I talk about radiation, there is no medium required. Now, just try to have a look at this part. Molecules vibrate. This means molecules are going to vibrate where? Molecules will vibrate either in solid or in liquid or in gas, because all of them are having molecules and molecules can vibrate at their fixed location, right? So for conduction, solid is the best example, but it can even occur in liquid and gases. But just think about convection. In convection, there is transfer of molecules. Now just think of the scenario. If I talk about solid, in solid, what do you think? In solid, will this particular molecule be able to transfer? No, obviously not. So in this particular part, that is in the convection part, this can never occur in solids. It will never occur in solids. Why? Because molecule cannot travel from one location to another in the solids. Solid is compact, right? That molecules are actually nearby each other. But if I talk about liquids and gases, molecules are far apart and yes, they can move. So please remember, for this convection part, it can only and only occur in liquid and gases because it cannot travel in the solid part. So yes, if I'll eliminate the solid option, only the option which is left is only liquid and gases. Now the part is left is of radiation. What about radiation? Radiation doesn't need any medium. This means radiation doesn't require any solid, nor liquid, nor gas, right? So what is the correct answer here? The correct answer is only liquid and gases. Let's move forward with the next question. Next is the carbon dioxide contained in the air that we exhale is about dash. Now, this is from the composition of gases. If I talk about air, when we talk about air, what all gases are here? We have nitrogen here. Then we have oxygen here. Then we have carbon dioxide. Even we have water vapor. Then if I talk about other gases, we can have argon also. Many gases are there. But the main thing is that the question is actually asked from these three parts specifically. Nitrogen is the gas. Please remember this part. This is asked in the examination. Nitrogen is the gas during inhale part, that is when you are taking in the oxygen, or you when exhale. At both times, the percentage of nitrogen remains same. And what's that? That's around 78%. But if I talk about other gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide, there's change in the composition. Now, the question is from carbon dioxide part. If I talk about carbon dioxide content in the air that we exhale, it is what? So, carbon dioxide content which we exhale is around 4%. Again, very important question from the examination part. So, here two questions are made. What are they? The gas in which percentage composition is equal, that will be nitrogen. If I talk about carbon dioxide, when you are exhaling, it will be only 4%. So, here the correct answer is going to be your first option, that is 4%. And everyone who's there in this session, kindly like it and start giving answers so that we can start interacting with each other, right? Okay. So let's talk about the next question. Next is, to measure very high temperature, we use what? Now, since we are talking about the temperatures, right? If I talk about the temperatures, then temperatures are measured by what? So temperatures are actually measured by thermometers. Remember that part? Temperatures are actually measured by thermometer. And if I talk about this temperature, what is the unit that we are using for measuring that? So the unit which we use are degree centigrade, then we have degree Fahrenheit, and then we have Kelvin. But among us these options, that is degree centigrade, Fahrenheit, Kelvin or Reamer or Rankine, which one is the SI unit? So this is asked in the examination. Do not forget, the unit which is actually the SI unit is Kelvin. So Kelvin is the SI unit over here. Now, since the question is asked to measure very high temperature, we use what? So obviously for measuring the temperature we are using thermometers, right? But for the very high temperature we will use what? So for the very high temperature we are going to use pyrometer. What's that? Pyrometer. But if I'll talk about the clinical thermometer, for the clinical thermometer what we are using? For the clinical thermometer we use the thermometer which are based on what? They are actually either digital or they are filled with mercury. So for measuring the body temperature, we use clinical thermometers. Body temperature, and that clinical thermometer is having mercury in that. So there are three different questions which are asked in the examination: for the minimum temperature, for the maximum temperature, and for the body temperature, right? So for the very high temperature we use pyrometer. Okay, let's move forward with the next question now. Next we have, what is a triple point of water? So we have different temperatures here. Let's see who will give the correct answer. What is a triple point of water? Now from name triple itself you can try to understand what is that. So waiting for the answer, what is the triple point of water? Can you answer this part? Everyone who's there in the session, I request you to answer this part or try to answer this, because this question is important for the examination. And from the name itself, what is that? Triple. We can understand the water is existing in three states. One is solid, another one is liquid, and third one is gas. So we have three states of water. Now question is asked, what is a triple point of water? So let me tell you, triple point of water is a point or a temperature at which water can exist in all the three states: solid also, liquid also, and gas also. So just think of these options. If I talk about 100 degrees centigrade, this means it is the boiling point of water, right? So what is that? I'll write for you. 100 degrees centigrade is what? It is the boiling point of water. And at the boiling point, we know that here water is being converted into the gaseous form. So obviously water cannot be in solid state at 100 degrees centigrade. Similar way, if I'll go with the 1000 degrees centigrade, is it possible for water being in solid state? Obviously not. And same thing is for 50 degrees. But 0.01 degree is the temperature at which water can exist in all the three states, that is solid also, liquid also, and gas also. And this point is known as triple point of water. So option number A, that is 0.01 degree centigrade, will be the correct answer over here. Next, dinosaurs were what? Now this is quite interesting, right? Dinosaurs. So even the questions are asked from this part. Now obviously this is from biological section. So let's see who can answer this. Dinosaurs were what? Were they mammals that became extinct? Or they were large herbivore creatures which gave rise to hippopotamus species? Were they egg-laying mammals or were they reptiles that became extinct? Let's see who can give this answer. So I want answer from everyone. Can you answer this part? Who were dinosaurs? Please, waiting for the answer. Everyone. Can you answer this part? Who were dinosaurs? Waiting for the answer. Dinosaurs were who? Who were dinosaurs? Let's see who can give this answer. No one? Okay. So if I talk about these dinosaurs, please remember, dinosaurs were who? Dinosaurs were actually reptiles that actually became extinct. Remember, you might have seen different movies where you can talk about Jurassic Park or any of the movie. Dinosaurs were laying eggs, and we know the feature of mammals. Mammals don't lay eggs, right? If I talk about ourselves, we are also the mammals. Do we lay eggs? No, we give birth directly to the younger ones. There is no such process of laying eggs, right? So obviously this is not going to be the correct answer. Then large herbivore creatures which give rise to hippopotamus. Again, we have seen those movies in which some of the dinosaurs were who? They were actually killing, or they were dependent on different organisms also. So yes, all of them were not herbivores, so this is going to be the wrong answer. Now talking about egg-laying mammals, no, they were not egg-laying mammals. They were who? They were reptiles who became extinct. Okay, so here option number D, that is reptiles that became extinct, would be the correct answer. Next, lens is made up of what? Now again, this is the question which is asked in the examination. Let's see who can answer this. Lens are made up of what? Now lens, you can talk about those spectacles that you use, right? So those lens are made up of what? There must be some sort of glass. Is it Pyrex glass? Is it flint glass? Is it ordinary glass? Is it cobalt glass? So obviously it is not going to be the cobalt glass. That's true. But what is the correct answer here? And yes, again I am saying this question is from the previous year part, and all these questions were from CGL part, right? So please do not miss any of the question. Remember, lens is made up of what? It is made up of flint glass. What's that? That is your flint glass. That is option number B will be correct. So lens are made up of what? Lens are made up of flint glass. Next. So we have Exampur official application, which is one-stop solution for the government job aspirants. What all things are here? We have live paid courses with the test series. We have free subject-wise and topic-wise quiz with the report card. Then we have job alert, admit card, examination date, all exams previous year PDF with the solution. Then we have free all India scholarship test with the report card. Then we have topic-wise free live classes. We have free full-length and sectional test with the report card. We have free exam-wise practice set PDFs. Then daily, weekly, monthly current affairs, unlimited subject-wise practice questions. All these things at a single platform. Just go to this Play Store, type Exampur over there, click on the install button, click on the open part, just do the registration and start using it. Okay, so let's move forward with the next question. And yes, a very important question. What's that? The question is, who discovered X-ray? Now, this particular discovery is very important. Why? Because it is again and again asked in the examination. So let's see who can answer this part. Who discovered X-ray? So who can answer this? Who discovered X-ray? Waiting for the answer, everyone. Answer please. Who discovered X-ray? Can you answer this part? I guess everyone is aware of this part, right? So who was the one who has discovered X-ray? Can you answer this? Then I'll give you the trick of it as well. So yes, if I talk about this X-ray, please remember, he was Wilhelm Röntgen. Who was he? He was Wilhelm Röntgen. This is again and again asked in the examination. So we must remember this part. Okay. Now talking about the next question. Next is, the primary producer in an ecosystem are dash. So let's see. We have four options here. So Vinod is going with A. Vinod, you are absolutely correct over there. Now talking about this question, primary producer in an ecosystem. Who is that? Women, men, plants or bacteria? Question is, the primary producer in an ecosystem are dash. So I'll say in ecosystem is. Let's see who will give this answer. Vinod and all the candidates who are present here, please start giving the answers. Waiting for the answer, please. Answer please. Will it be men? Will it be women? Will it be plants? What is going to be the correct answer? Vinod is going with D. Vinod, see, when I talk about this primary producer, remember, when we talk about an ecosystem, we remember food chain part. So if I talk about plants, plants are the primary producers. Now what happens? On these plants, some of the animals are dependent. If I talk about those animals who are only dependent on plants, they are known as herbivores. Who are they? Herbivores. And the best part is, we can take the example of cow, or you can talk about any of the herbivore who is dependent on this plant. Now if I talk about other animals also who are dependent on plants, someone might be dependent on that animal also, right? So there we can talk about carnivores or omnivores. Then at last we have decomposers. But who is the first one who is producing that? That is actually plant. So always when we will talk about the primary producer, remember that is always your plants. So option number C will be correct over here. Okay. Next we have, which of the following is not a radioactive element? Is it uranium? Is it thorium? Is it plutonium? Or is it cadmium? What is the correct answer over here? Waiting for the answer, please. My question is, which one of the following is not a radioactive element? What are radioactive elements? Radioactive elements are those which nucleus is not stable and they always keep on emitting alpha beta gamma radiations, right? So yes, we have 4 options here. So we know this going with D, and that's totally correct. If I'll go with this cadmium part, cadmium is not a radioactive element. Very good, Vinod. Totally correct. Next, name the particle that is most essential to continue chain reaction during the fission of uranium. Which is that particular particle that is most essential to continue the chain reaction? I have just told you about that. What? If I talk about any of the radioactive element, because of the unstable nucleus, their alpha beta gamma radiations keep on emitting out. So yes, here particle you have to tell because of which is actually required for the nuclear fission part. Fission in which nucleus will break one into small parts, right? So yes, what is the correct answer over here? So we have electron, proton, neutron or positron. What will be the correct answer here? Can you answer this part? So we know this going with B, that is proton. Others, do you want to experiment here? Any experimental answer, sorry. See, if I'll go with this part, please remember, it is not going to be proton, but the correct answer is going to be what? The correct answer is going to be neutron. Because when I'll talk about this part, please remember, nucleus consists of what? Nucleus consists of proton and a neutron. And if I'll talk about electrons, they are actually revolving around it, right? Now, if I'll talk about this part, here because of this particular neutrons only, this nuclear fission process is possible, right? So yes, here what is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be neutron. Okay, let's move forward with the next question now. The rusting of iron metal in air needs both. What is the requirement for rusting? This we have discussed when we were discussing chemistry part. So for the rusting, we require 2 of the important things. Now what is that? Is it CO2 and moisture? Is it water and paint? Is it oxygen and grease? Is it oxygen and moisture? What is the correct answer over here? Answer please. So what will be the correct answer here? Waiting for the answer. Everyone. Answer please. So Vinod is going with D. That's totally correct. Vinod, if I'll talk about oxygen and moisture, this means I'm talking about water along with the oxygen. So if I'll talk about H2O, that means we are talking about moisture over there and obviously the oxygen. So 2 things are important, but this is not only the one question that is important. One more question that is important is when we talk about rusting, what is the effect on weight? So first option is weight increases. Second option is weight decreases. Third option is weight remains same, or in fourth option is can't say. So my another question is, and yes, this is again from the previous year question part. So my question is, when there is rusting, what is the effect on weight? Does weight increases, weight decreases, weight remains same, or we can't say? What is the correct answer over here? Answer please. When we talk about rusting, what is the effect on weight? So we have 4 options, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what would be the correct answer here? Will weight increase, decrease, weight will remain same, or we can't say during the rusting part? And yes, please remember, this is again from the previous year part. I'm putting double star over here. And yes, the same question was asked in BPSC. Just 15 days before, there was an examination in the starting of this month. I'll say before a month, there was an examination of BPSC, Bihar PSC examination. In that also this question was asked. This is asked in CGL also, right? So yes, Vinod, you are absolutely correct. The weight is going to increase. Please remember, whenever there is the rusting, at that time, the weight of the iron will increase. Okay. So here, option number D was correct. Let's move forward to the next question. Which acid is known as king of chemicals? Now, this is basic question, but since it is asked, we have kept it. Which of the following acids is known as king of chemicals? What is the correct answer over here? Let's see who will give the correct answer here. Waiting for the answer, please. Everyone who is there in the session, I request all of you to kindly start giving answers. Yes. Which acid is known as king of chemicals? What is the correct answer over here? Vinod is going with C, that is HNO3. So let me tell you about these acids. If I talk about HCl, this HCl is present where? This HCl is present in our body. That is, this HCl is present in our stomach as well, which has pH value of 1.x. If I talk about the sulfuric acid, please remember, This sulfuric acid is known as king of chemicals, right? Now, one more thing is here, which is asked in the examination. We must remember that if I take the combination of these two, that is, if I talk about the combination of HCl and HNO3. So, Vinod, can you give me answer? When I combine this HCl and HNO3, it will give me what? Do you have any idea? If no idea, then you can actually tell me. Son, I have no idea. But yes, this is asked in the examination. When HCl and HNO3 combines in some proportion, that proportion is also important. When it combines with some proportion, it is actually help in reacting with gold and silver. And yes, if we are talking about this silver and gold, it is used for the cleaning purpose for this gold and silver part. So let's see who you can answer or not. What is this combination called? With some certain proportion. I will tell you that proportion also. Actually, that is asked in the examination. And everyone who is there in the session, please like it and share it. Please do that. Everyone, please like it and share it. And yes, please start giving answers. If I talk about this proportion, HCl and HNO3, this is known as what? This is actually known as aqua regia. What is that? That is aqua regia. Because see, gold is not going to react with anyone. Gold never reacts with anyone except this aqua regia, and aqua regia also has a combination. What is that ratio? If I'll talk about the, very good, Vinod has given that answer. If I'll talk about its ratio is what? Its ratio is 1:3. All these questions which I have written here, all these questions are asked in the examination. They are repeatedly asked. The acid in our body is HCl. H2SO4 is the king of chemicals. If I talk about the combination of HCl and HNO3, so if I talk about the fixed proportion, one part of HCl, sorry, I'll write it opposite. If I'll talk about 3 parts of HCl and 1 part of HNO3, it will give me aqua regia, which is helpful in cleaning of the gold and silver. Okay, let's move forward to the next question now. Next question is, the acid which is used in lead storage cells is what? Acid which is used in lead storage cell. So waiting for the answer, everyone. Which is that particular acid which is used in the lead storage of the cell? So what is the answer, please? Just a second, I'll just see this spamming comment. I'll just try to delete it. And everyone, I'm waiting for the answer. Which is that acid which is used in the lead storage cell? Yes, so I'm waiting for the answer. If I'll talk about this particular question, so what is that? Acid which is used in lead storage cell is what? That is your sulfuric acid. I just told you about it, right? So what is this? This is actually your sulfuric acid, which is also known as king of chemicals. What is that? This is also known as king of chemicals. And we have already discussed about this HCl, which was present in our body, right? And its combination of HCl and nitric acid was giving you what? This was actually giving us aqua regia. So I guess all these things are clear now. Let's move forward with the next question. So we have next question here. Formic acid is produced by dash. So we have a question that formic acid is produced by what? So is it red ants, cockroaches, snakes, mosquitoes? What is the correct answer? So yes, what is the answer here? See, when we'll talk about this formic acid, please remember here, from this word formic, can you relate it with farm? Can you relate it with farm? If I'll talk about farm, in farm we find what? We find red ants over there. And also we have honeybees there, right? So red ants and honeybees, they are present where? Yes, here these red ants and honeybees, they are actually having what? Formic acid. Please remember, they are having formic acid. This is just a trick to remember. So here, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be red ants. Okay, so we have next question here. pH scale ranges from what? So we have 4 options here, and I'll need just 2 minutes in order to delete this particular comment, and then I'll start. Till then, I want the answer. pH scale ranges from what? Then I'll tell you what is actually this pH scale. Then we will understand who has discovered it, and then we'll get to our answer. So I'm waiting for your answer from everyone. Till then, I'll just need 2 minutes for this deleting the spamming comment. Okay, so waiting for the answer, please. So yes, I was waiting for the answer. If I talk about this pH scale, it ranges from 0 to 14. Please remember. Now if I talk about this P, P stands for what? P stands for, no, it's not 1 to 14, Vinod. Please remember, this is from 0 to 14. First of all, I'll talk about it. What is that? P stands for potence. This is asked in the examination. What is that? It stands for potence. Now this is telling you what is the level of that particular acidic nature, or is it basic nature, or is it neutral in nature. So the value is actually ranging like this. If it is from 0 to 6.x, this means that particular thing is acid. If I talk about the 7, then this means that particular thing is what? That particular thing is neutral in nature. And if it ranges from 7.x till 14, then this means that particular thing is either basic or alkaline in nature. What's that? Either it is basic or alkaline in nature. Now, the most important thing I told you, Prajwal is saying, hello Prajwal, how are you? So yes, Prajwal, the correct answer would be 0 to 14. That is option number C. And yes, one more thing I wanted to tell you. If someone asks you, who is the one who has actually invented this? So here, the correct answer will be what? The correct answer would be Soren Sorensen. See, all these questions are very, very important. And yes, we are studying in 360 degrees. That is, none of the question can miss from any of the part. Please remember, pH scale discovery was done by Soren Sorensen, where P stands for potence. It tells you the level of acidic nature or basic nature. If it is the value that is lying between 0 to 6.x, that is acid. If it is exactly 7, then that is neutral. And if it is from 7.x to 14, it is basic or alkaline in nature. Okay, let's have next question now. Oxalic acid is found where? Oxalic acid is found where? So can you answer this part? Where do we find this oxalic acid? Answer please. Where do we find this oxalic acid? Can you answer this part? Where do we find this oxalic acid? Prajwal, Vinod, and everyone who is there in the session, please like it and share it. Please do that. Yeah. So my question is, where do we find this oxalic acid? Is it tamarind? Is it grapes? Is it unripe mangoes, or is it spinach? So Vinod is going with unripe mangoes. Okay. So Prajwal, are you also with the same option? Prajwal, are you also with the same option? See, if I talk, Prajwal is saying, sir, it is used to remove rust. What is used to remove rust, Prajwal? So you're talking about this part. Okay, oxalic acid. Okay, cool. So yes, Prajwal is going with C, that is unripe mangoes. See, let me tell you, if I talk about this oxalic acid, please remember, this oxalic acid is also found in tomatoes. It is also found in spinach. Right? Now, the important thing which I wanted to explain, we know where this oxalic acid is found, right? It is in the tomato also, it is in the spinach also. One and most important thing is, if I talk about this oxalic acid, what it does, it creates calcium oxalate. What it does, it creates calcium oxalate. Now, if I talk about this calcium oxalate, please remember what is going to happen. If this will accumulate in your body, it will lead to kidney stone. What? It will lead to kidney stone, which creates a severe pain in our body, that is in your kidney. So please remember, kidney stone is created by this calcium oxalate, which is created by oxalic acid. This oxalic acid is present in tomato also, in spinach also, right? Now moving forward. Okay, now talking about this Exampur official application. Now we have live paid courses here with the test series, free subject wise and topic wise quiz with the report card, job alert, admit card, examination date. All these features, including the weekly, daily, monthly current affairs, all these at a single platform. Just go to the Play Store, type Exampur over there, click on the install button, click on the open part, and just do the registration, start using it. Next, what is the full form of BOD? What's that? BOD. So we have 4 options here. What is the correct one? Everyone. So Prajwal, Vinod, and everyone who's there in the session, I want answer from each and everyone. And everyone who's there in this session, kindly like it and share it, please. And yes, answer please. What is the full form of BOD? So yes, Prajwal is going with C. That is biological oxygen demand. Vinod, you are also with C, and that's totally correct. Here the correct answer is biological oxygen demand. Now what is it? If I talk about any of the river or lake, what is happening? There are bacteria which are actually doing what they are doing, helping in the degradation part, right? Now, how much oxygen is required to degrade that part? So here we talk about biological oxygen demand. Now what happens? If I talk about this BOD, we are obviously aware of BOD stands for biological oxygen demand. Now if it is written like this, BOD 5, now this means biological oxygen demand of 5 days. If it is written BOD 4, so it would be of 4 days and so on. So this one is important. Do not forget BOD stands for biological oxygen demand. So option number C is going to be the correct answer. Next, the composition of Aquarius dash, just discussed. Totally correct, Vinod. Absolutely correct. Now talking about this part, the composition of Aquarius dash. What is the composition of Aquarius? So we have 4 options here. Let's see. Is there any confusion? Anyone? So we have ratio, that is dilute HCl and concentrated HNO3 with 3:1. Concentrated HCl plus and dilute HNO3 with 3:1 ratio. Concentrated HCl and concentrated HNO3 with 3:1 ratio. And the fourth one is dilute HCl and dilute HNO3 with 3:1 ratio. What will be the correct answer? And I guess this is going to create confusion, huh? Prajwal is with B, Vinod is with C. See, here, if I talk about this concentrated and concentrated, that is, if I talk about option number C, that is both of the concentrated would be the correct answer. It's not like that one is concentrated and one is dilute. No, both of them must be concentrated in nature. Now, what is difference between this dilute and concentrated? Let's have a look at it. If I talk about this dilute part, in this what happens? The quantity of acid is less and the quantity of water is more. In the similar manner, if I talk about this concentrated part, here the quantity of acid is more, but the quantity of water is less. This is very, very important. We must understand this fact. In the concentrated part, acid's quantity is more, right? So yes, here concentrated HCl and concentrated HNO3 and its ratio is going to be 3:1. So I guess Prajwal got this point. So it's great that you need the answer, but this concentrated, I know it creates confusion, so it is important, right? Since you're talking about CGL examination. In CHSL, I would have directly given the option of this HCl and HNO3, but this is CGL's examination, quite tougher in comparison to CHSL, right? Okay, so both would be concentrated. Next, outside the nucleus, DNA is found where? We know that if I talk about nucleus, we have DNA here. What is DNA? Deoxy ribonucleic acid, right? Since we know about DNA, but this DNA, it is present where? In the nucleus. But apart from nucleus, where we can get it? Okay, Prajwal, great. Apart from this nucleus, where you are going to get this DNA? Again, an important one. Not only for CGL, but for CPU as well. It is asked in both the examinations. So yes, apart from DNA, now see, if I'll go with MTS or CHSL, it is directly asked. Where we will find DNA, you will be given 4 options, out of which one will be nucleus. But for CGL and CPU examination, remember, this is going to be important. Apart from nucleus, you will be getting this DNA in, Vinod, are you going to give the answer? Vinod is saying the ribosome. Nope, ribosome is not going to be the correct answer. Prajwal, can you try it? Obviously, nucleus is the correct answer, no doubt about that. But apart from nucleus, where you will get it? Please remember, that is known as powerhouse of the cell also. Now I guess you can give the answer. I'll write here for you because it is asked in the examination, so need to write it. That is also known as powerhouse of the cell. So what is the correct answer? Is it Golgi bodies, mitochondria, ribosome or endoplasmic reticulum? Prajwal is saying no idea. Okay, but you can get idea. Using powerhouse of the cell, that is mitochondria. True? So yes, what is the correct answer here? The correct answer is going to be mitochondria. Next, totally correct, Prajwal. Next, the suicidal packets of the cells are dash. Now I guess this would be the correct one where you can give answer in the first go. What is it? My question is, suicidal bags of the cells are what? Is it lysosomes? Is it ribosomes? Is it Dictosomes or is it phagosomes? Very simple. So Vinod has given the answer. Acha, it was for the previous one. What about this one? Suicidal packets of the cell. Is it lysosomes? Is it ribosomes? What? Very good. So Prajwal is the first one to answer this. Vinod, are you with B or A? Very good. Both of you are totally correct. The correct answer is lysosomes. Lysosomes are the ones which actually keep on secreting those chemicals. It sees, okay, this cell part is not working. It will secrete chemical. What happens? If whole cell is not working, it will burst itself. Because of this, whole cell actually digests. So here, lysosome is the correct answer, that is known as suicidal packets. But what about this ribosomes? Ribosomes are also known as protein factory. It is known as protein factory. This is again an important one. It is asked in the examination. So please remember, lysosomes were the suicidal packets and ribosomes were known as protein factory. So you must remember this part, right? Both of the things are very, very important. So suicidal packets are lysosomes. Next. Which animal produces the biggest baby? Graveyard of the spleen. Yeah, graveyard of the cell, actually. Okay. Yes, totally correct, Prajwal. So what about this question? Which animal produces the biggest baby? What do you think? Will it be camel, lion, elephant or blue whale? What is the correct answer over here? So Vinod is going with A. So that is camel. Achha, it was for the previous one. For the previous one, Prajwal and Vinod, both of you were correct. What about this question? Which animal produces the biggest baby? Yes, answer please. Which animal produces the biggest baby? Is it camel, lion, elephant or blue whale? What do you think? So Prajwal is in the state of dilemma. Sir, whether it will be D. Vinod, are you sure or are you also in this state of dilemma? But need answer from everyone. So Prajwal and Vinod, both of you are with D, then I'll also go with D. Totally correct. The correct answer is going to be blue whale. Do you know, if I talk about this blue whale, when it gives birth to the baby, at that time itself, that particular baby is around 2000 kgs. So it's a huge amount, right? So yes, the biggest baby which is actually produced by an animal is blue whale. So both of you are correct. That the correct answer is going to be D. Next. All are protozoan diseases except what? So we have four options here. Elephantiasis, oriental sores, sleeping sickness, kala azar. So we have three of the diseases which are protozoan diseases. One of the diseases is not protozoan. Now what is that? So waiting for the answer from everyone. Answer please. Can you answer this part? Waiting, still waiting for the answer. Prajwal, Vinod. Vinod saying kala azar. Kala azar is actually a protozoan disease, Vinod. Prajwal. Prajwal is saying sleeping sickness. Have you listened that particular uh, rhyme where we talk about that Papa काम पे सोते हैं? Remember that? Papa काम पे सोते हैं. So there we had a trick over there. We were discussing about all those particular issues. So let me tell you, elephantiasis is the one which is not a protozoan disease, right? So here option number 8, that is elephantiasis, would be the correct answer. Now what is this elephantiasis? Let me tell you. If I'll talk about this disease, what happens? If I'll talk about the leg, this leg seems as if it is of elephant now. That leg swells and that is elephantiasis. In Hindi, we call it hati pav, right? Okay. So let's move forward to the next question. We have bakeries use yeast in bread making. Why? Now don't say that, so we are not from this department, but this is important. We must be aware of this part. Yes. So bakeries are using yeast in bread making. Why? What happens by using yeast? Can you answer this part? And everyone who's there in the session, please like it and share it. And everyone is requested to please answer. Vinod and Prajwal are answering. So I want your answer as well so that we can start discussing. Yes. Question is, bakeries use yeast in bread making. There must be some requirement of using this yeast. Now, what is that requirement? Prajwal is going with B. Vinod is also with B. It makes bread soft and spongy, and that's totally correct. Just think of a scenario. If you're eating a bread which is hard, will you eat it? Obviously not. If I talk about this enhancement of food values, we talk about biofortification over there, where there are several things which are added in order to increase the nutrition value, right? That is biofortification. No. It keeps bread fresh. There's no such logic of keeping bread fresh using the yeast. So your answer is totally correct. It makes your bread soft and spongy, where you can talk about cakes, you can talk about different things. So yes, you are absolutely correct. It makes bread soft and spongy. Next. So we have Exampur official application here, which is one-stop solution for the government job aspirants. What all things are here? We have live paid courses with the test series. We have free subject-wise, topic-wise quiz with the report card, then job alert, admit card, examination date, all exam previous year PDF with the solution, free all India scholarship test with the report card, topic-wise free live classes, free full-length and sectional test with the report card, free exam-wise PDF, practice at PDF, and the most important thing, daily, weekly, monthly current affair, unlimited subject-wise practice questions, all these things at a single platform. Just go to Play Store, type Exampur over there, click on the install button, click on the open part, just do the registration and start using it. Okay, next question. The animal which uses sound as its eye is what? Is it dog, cat, snake or bat? What do you think? The animal which is using sound as its eye. What is it? In the evening, you might have seen one of the animal which is using this logic. Now just think about that animal. I'm talking about evening, right? So in some of the movies, especially those movies which are related to ghost, in that you might have seen this part. So let's see who can answer now. I have given you all the hints which were possible. So yes, can you answer this part? My question is the animal which is using sound as its eyes. So what is the correct answer over here? Answer please. Vinod is saying bat. Rajul is also with bat, and that's totally correct. If I talk about this bat, it uses the logic of echo. Remember this part? What is echo? Whenever we say anything, that particular sound is reflected back. That is the reflection of the sound. How? If there's a person who is standing here and he's speaking something, and when this sound is reaching some place, this sound is reflected back. This particular process is known as echo. Now, what's the minimum distance between that? Yeah, that's true, Vinod. Now, let's try to understand this. If I talk about this part, there's a distance of 17 meter. Now, this question is very important from the examination point of view. What is the distance, minimum distance that is required for echo? So, the minimum distance which is required for echo is 17 meter. Very important. One thing. Second, this bat is using the concept of what? Sonar over here. Remember sonar? What is that? Full form of sonar is asked in the examination, and that is sound, navigation, and ranging. Sound, navigation and ranging, which this logic is actually used by ships as well, right? So please remember all these facts. Full form of sonar, sound, navigation and ranging. Bat is using the same concept, where because that particular sound is reflecting back. So yes, we can say that bats are the ones who are using this particular logic. Okay, so let's move forward to the next question. Yes, option D was the correct here. Next is root hairs arise from which particular location. So can you tell me from where these root hairs are arising? So we have 4 options here. Now what will be the correct answer? What is the correct answer over here? I'm talking about root hairs. So they are arising from what particular part? That is cortex, or is it pericycle? Is it epidermis, or is it endodermis? We have 4 options here. Let's see who will give this answer. And everyone, Prajwal, Vinod, waiting for the answer please. They are arising from which location? Is it cortex, pericycle, epidermis or endodermis? Now obviously this part is from plant physiology part, where we have discussed the different parts of the plants, right? So what is the correct answer here? Any guesses? No idea. So let's get idea. So Vikram is here again, and Vikram, absolutely correct. Very good. So Vikram has given the answer, so it would be epidermis, and that's totally correct. Vikram, you keep on changing the DP of this particular YouTube also, na? Just like that WhatsApp and Facebook. Yeah. So actually every day when I see Vikram Aditya, every day your particular DP is changed, and that too small, huh? It's okay. So great. So Prajwal is also with C. Vikram is with C. Vinod, The correct answer is going to be epidermis. Totally correct. Next, wheat is what? Is it a creeper? Is it a herb? Is it a shrub? Or is it a tree? What is wheat? And we know that, what's wheat? Every day you eat chapatis, right? Those chapatis are made up of what? Wheat. So wheat wheat is what? Is it a creeper? Is it a herb? Is it a shrub? Or is it a tree? Let's see who can give this answer. So Prajwal is going with C. So that is, it is a shrub. Others, can you answer this part? Wheat is what? Is it a herb, shrub, or what? What is the correct answer? Prajwal is with C. That is shrub. Vikram is also going with C. That is shrub. Okay. Vinod is also going with C. But I'll go with B here. Please remember, wheat is what? Wheat is actually a herb. So here, option number B is going to be the correct answer. Next. Rickets is the deficiency disease of vitamin D. It affects which part of the body? Vitamin D. First of all, I want answer from everyone. Then I'll explain this part. Answer please. Yes. So my question was, rickets is the deficiency disease of vitamin D. It affects which part? Let's talk about vitamin D first. What is its name? Its name is calciferol. Just have a look. Calciferol. If I talk about calci, this means what? It is relating with calcium. Can you have a look? Calci, calcium, one and the same thing. Calcium. Now, when I'll talk about this calcium part, obviously our bone is made up of what? Calcium and phosphorus. So this means it is going to create the issue. If there would be deficiency, it will be creating issue in the bone. One more thing. Now just imagine of a scenario where those bones are actually bent. If those bones are bent, where we talk about bow bones, that issue is known as rickets. In elders, there is the less amount of calcium, and that is known as osteomalacia. So osteomalacia and rickets are the ones which are caused because of the deficiency of vitamin D. And here, Vikram, Aditya, Vinod, Prajwal, all of you are absolutely correct, and Vinod has also shown that this is the bone. Yes, so everyone is totally correct here. What is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be bone. Totally correct. So yes, vitamin D is calciferol. Calci, you can relate it with the calcium. Calcium is present in the bone. So the issue which is created due to the deficiency of vitamin D, that is your issue in the bone. For the children, it will be rickets, and for the elders, it will be osteomalacia. Simple. Okay, let's move forward to the next question. Carbohydrate is stored in our body as dash. Carbohydrate. Now, what is this carbohydrate? Remember, we were discussing about nutrients. When we were talking about nutrients, there were two types of nutrients. One was macronutrient, another one was micronutrient. And please listen this in the proper manner, because this is asked in the examination. Now, what is the question which is asked? In the macronutrients, we have three. That is carbohydrates, then we have proteins, and then we have fats. Why they are known as macro? Because they are required in larger numbers. If I talk about micronutrients, what are they? You can talk about vitamins here, and then we have certain nutrients where you can talk about those calcium, then phosphorus, all those things, they are come in micro part. Now, when we are talking about this macronutrients, we have carbohydrates here. Now, in our body, this carbohydrate is stored in our body in the form of glycogen, right? So, Vinod, you are absolutely correct here. So, Prajwal, Vikram, Vinod, everyone who's there in the session, please remember, carbohydrates is stored in our body in the form of glycogen. That is option number C will be correct here, right? Do not forget, it's very, very important for the examination. Next, a seed can germinate in the absence of dash. Now, this would be the last question for the day. Tomorrow we will again continue with the same part. But yes, now I request everyone to answer this part. I know maximum of you can give wrong here by reading the question in such a manner that it would be wrong. And question is designed in Chsl in such a manner, it wants you all to click on the first option in the first go. So let's see. So we have Vikas here, and Vikas is saying that it would be C. Acha, Vikas, I guess I'm getting your comments quite late. You gave answer for the previous one, right? Okay, your answer was absolutely correct for the previous one. That is glycogen. In our bodies, that carbohydrate is stored in the form of glycogen. What about this question? A seed can germinate in the absence of what? So Vinod, you are going with C option, okay? Prajwal, can you answer this part? Vikram, I want everyone to answer this so that you will be 100% correct in the main examination. Just have a look. Question is not asked, seed can germinate in presence of what? Just have a look, what's the question? Question is asked in the absence of what? Now just think, seed can germinate in the absence of adequate light? Yes or no? Obviously yes. So Prajwal is the first one to answer A, and that was totally correct. Please remember, question is not in the presence of what? It is asking seed can germinate in the absence of what? So obviously, when you will talk about seed, it is under the earth. Right, Vikram? Totally correct. Very good. Under the earth, is there any light? No light is there, right? So seed can germinate in the absence of adequate light. But without the supply of oxygen, it will not germinate. Without the suitable without the suitable moisture, it will not germinate. And without the suitable temperature, it will not generate. So Vikas, Vikram, Prajwal, Vinod, got my point? So yes, whenever you are going with the examination part, please remember, always have a look at this part, whether it is clear or not. I want you all to be correct in the main examination. So that's why I've told you, please always have a look at this part. So seed can germinate in the presence of supply of oxygen, suitable moisture and suitable temperature, but in the absence of adequate light. Okay, so all these were the important questions from the CGL part. Now, from tomorrow, in spite of having class between 6 to 7, we will be having class from 4 to 5, right? So yes, for the CGL session 4 to 5, for the CHSL, CPU and all those examination between 12 to 1, okay? So bye-bye everyone, please take care. You always have comment section with you, and I am always there for you. For any doubt, for any kind of issue, just let me know. So bye-bye everyone, please take care, enjoy.